guess in my view, there were two big things this year that we wanted to accomplish. One was to find out where those metals were coming from.
After years of relentless digging, Oak Island has yielded a shocking revelation. Rick Lagina's lawyer has lifted the veil on something monumental that was never meant to be uncovered. Join us as we dive into this latest discovery and unravel the mystery. How the quest for began. For many years, treasure hunters have been drawn to the mysterious Oak Island, each one hopeful that they might be the ones to uncover its hidden secrets. The island, with its dense forests and murky swamps, had long been the subject of legends and tales. Whispers of buried treasure and lost riches filled the air, luring adventurers from all over. The Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty, were no different. They were captivated by the mystery of Oak Island and determined to solve it once and for all. With each passing year, they dug deeper into the island's history and its soil, driven by a burning desire to find whatever was buried there. As their search progressed, they began to piece together a puzzle that stretched back centuries. One name kept coming up: Samuel Ball. Now, Samuel was a former slave who had managed to become one of the wealthiest landowners on Oak Island. His sudden wealth had always been a topic of speculation. The brothers believed that understanding Ball's connection to the island might be the key to unlocking its secrets. With shovels in hand and hope in their hearts, they dug deeper into the ground and the past. The more they uncovered, the more they realized that the island held secrets that dated back even further than Samuel's time. They found ancient tools that suggested others had been here long before Ball, digging and tunneling, perhaps searching for the same treasure. Each discovery brought a new wave of excitement, fueling their belief that they were on the verge of uncovering something truly monumental. Digging deeper into the mystery. One of the most thrilling moments came when Jack Begley and Charles Barkhouse, members of the Lagina brothers team, made a recent discovery that sent shockwaves through the group. They found what appeared to be a hidden passageway beneath a piece of land that had once belonged to Samuel. Could this be the tunnel that would lead them to the treasure they had been searching for? The possibility was enough to make Rick's heart race. He and Billy Gerhardt decided to launch a detailed investigation, hoping to reveal more about this mysterious passage. As they explored further, the team noticed a strange, obvious gap beneath the rocks. This was no ordinary gap. It perfectly matched an anomaly that had shown up in their earlier scans of the island. The sight sent a shiver down Rick's spine, no doubt. He pointed to the gap and called it what he believed it to be: a tunnel. The discovery of the hidden tunnel was a game changer, one that hinted at secrets Samuel might have taken to his grave. At this point, the more the team uncovered about Ball, the more intriguing his story became. Born into slavery in South Carolina in 1765, Samuel had endured hardships few could imagine. However, after gaining his freedom, he made his way to Nova Scotia, Canada, where he eventually settled on Oak Island in the early 1800s. Over time, Ball became one of the island's wealthiest residents. However, what puzzled everyone was the mystery of his wealth. How did a former slave with no apparent source of income amass such riches? This question gave rise to rumors that Samuel had discovered something valuable, maybe even a treasure, hidden deep within the island. What could have Samuel found? One of the most intriguing pieces of evidence linked to Ball was a mysterious stone found on Oak Island, engraved with his initials, SB. The discovery of this stone set off a wave of speculation. Some believed it marked the location of buried treasure. Others thought it might be a clue left intentionally by Ball and a breadcrumb in the trail leading to whatever he had found. As the Oak Island team continued their exploration, they unearthed several ancient tunneling tools over the past year. These tools, including an iron chisel and 2 wedges, were believed to be over 600 years old, far older than Ball's time on the island. This raised even more questions. What were these tools doing here, and how were they connected to the newly discovered tunnel? Some experts suggested that these tools were used to construct tunnels or vaults, possibly to hide treasures or artifacts that were too precious to be left out in the open. Now, among the team, Gary Drayton was particularly fascinated by the discovery. As an experienced metal detectorist and treasure hunter, Gary had seen many things on Oak Island, but this tunnel piqued his interest more than anything else. He believed it might hold the key to finding the island's lost riches. The thought of what could be lying just beneath the surface sent shivers of excitement through the team. The very next day, the team's excitement reached a fever pitch as they unearthed something that could change everything. It appeared they had found what looked like the long-rumored flood tunnel trap system, a crucial piece of Oak Island's puzzle. Rick, ever the cautious leader, felt the team's enthusiasm, but urged them to proceed with care. This was indeed a major find, but he knew all too well that they needed to verify their findings before jumping to any conclusions. The team had seen too many dead ends to let their hopes get ahead of the facts. Tying any loose ends. As they prepared to investigate the area in greater detail, the air was thick with anticipation. Each member of the team understood the significance of what they had found. If the tunnel really was part of the legendary trap system, it could lead them directly to the island's hidden treasures, or to even more questions and mysteries. So the team began their careful exploration of the area while moving methodically across the site, eyes trained on every detail. It was a tense moment, the kind that made time feel like it was standing still. Each step forward held the promise of discovery. As they worked, something unusual caught their attention: strange movements in the sand. It was subtle at first, just a slight shift, almost like the sand was breathing. However, as they watched, the movements became more pronounced. The sand seemed to pulse and sway like it was being stirred from below. Just 2 minutes later, the moving sand began to swirl, and it revealed a shallow dip forming right before their eyes. The dip grew deeper, and suddenly, a narrow crack appeared in the ground, directly beneath where Marty was standing. The team held their breath, watching as the crack widened, exposing something dark and mysterious inside. Marty's sharp eyes zeroed in on the crack. He knelt down, peering into the darkness, and he saw it. What he found was wood. The sight sent a jolt of excitement through him. This wasn't just a random piece of driftwood. This was a deliberate structure and a carefully placed piece of timber. His heart pounded in his chest as he realized what they had found. This was the entrance to a tunnel. The air buzzed with excitement and a sense of urgency. Marty called the rest of the team over, his voice barely able to contain his excitement. They gathered around, peering into the crack, each one trying to get a glimpse of the wood that lay beneath. This was the moment they had been waiting for, the moment when all their hard work and dedication seemed to pay off. Finally, beginning the tunnel's exploration. Now the team estimated that the entrance to the tunnel was about 15 feet deep. This wasn't just a small hole or a random gap. It hinted at a significant and carefully constructed structure hidden beneath the island's surface. The more they uncovered, the more it seemed likely that this tunnel was no ordinary passageway. It might be one of Oak Island's legendary flood tunnels, which, it seemed, was a key piece of the island's long-standing mystery. For generations, treasure hunters, researchers, and adventurers have searched tirelessly for this elusive tunnel. It was believed to have been built centuries ago, designed to flood the treasure chambers, protecting whatever riches lay inside from being discovered. The very thought of this made the team's hearts race. They might be standing on the brink of solving a centuries-old puzzle. At the same time, though, the tunnel's instability was a big problem. As they continued to dig and expose more of the tunnel, small rocks kept tumbling down, clattering into the darkness below. Each falling stone was a reminder that the structure was fragile, that centuries of erosion and shifting earth had weakened its walls. The crew knew they had to be incredibly careful. One wrong move could trigger a collapse, not only sealing off the tunnel, but also putting their own safety at serious risk. The thought of being trapped in a cave-in was a real and terrifying possibility. They had to balance their desire to explore the tunnel and uncover its secrets with the need to stay safe and proceed cautiously. To ensure their safety and the integrity of the tunnel, the team began taking precise measurements and setting up supports. They used specialized tools to shore up the tunnel's walls, creating a safe environment in which to work. By doing this, they could analyze the tunnel's construction and contents without the constant threat of a collapse hanging over them. As they examined the tunnel more closely, they noticed something intriguing. Different types of wood were embedded within its walls, suggesting that this wasn't just a natural cave but a man-made structure. The sight of these wood beams raised even more questions. Who built this tunnel? What was its true purpose? Could it be part of a larger, more complex underground network that spanned the entire island? These were questions that no one had answers to yet, but each new discovery brought them closer to uncovering the truth. What the existence of this wood meant. The presence of these different woods hinted at a level of craftsmanship and planning that was astonishing. It suggested that whoever constructed the tunnel had access to a variety of resources and knew exactly what they were doing. The idea that this could be part of a larger man-made network was both thrilling and daunting. If true, it meant there was still so much left to discover on Oak Island. From here on out, the team pressed on, filled with a renewed sense of purpose. 2 days later, the Oak Island team, led by Rick and Marty, was abuzz with renewed excitement. They had received a tip from Dave Blanken, who reported a mysterious depression near his property, a ship depression that seemed to hold promise. This new lead was intriguing enough to warrant a fresh look at an old map they had in their possession. The map had been provided by Zena Halper and was one of the earliest known drawings of Oak Island. To maximize its potential, the team decided to overlay this ancient map onto current satellite images, hoping to decipher its scale and accuracy in light of modern technology. As they spread the old map over the high-resolution images, the team marveled at the contrast between the past and present. The map depicted several landmarks that had long since vanished or changed due to erosion and human activity. Yet, the precision of the early cartographer was impressive. Among the map's notable features were marks that aligned surprisingly well with some of the island's most famous locations, the Money Pit and other legendary spots that had intrigued treasure hunters for years. Seeing these familiar landmarks on the old map, the team's anticipation grew. Could this be the breakthrough they needed? Marty's eyes were fixed on the upper edge of the map. He noticed that it lined up closely with the current shoreline, though not perfectly. This small discrepancy hinted that the map had retained its accuracy through the years, despite the island's shifting contours. The realization was electrifying. It meant that the map could still hold valuable clues, even after centuries of change. The team's excitement was palpable as they contemplated the implications of this finding. If the map's markers were still relevant, they might be on the cusp of a major discovery. The map leads to various possibilities. The map's potential significance was further emphasized when Jack Begley found a specific spot that caught his attention. Interestingly, this location was directly underneath Dave's boat driveway, right where his house stood. The alignment was too coincidental to ignore. It seemed like a promising place for further study and investigation. The possibility that something important might be hidden just beneath the driveway stirred the team's curiosity. However, there was a catch. Jack pointed out a significant challenge. They had no clear idea what the hatch they were searching for might look like. Without a definitive description or image of the hatch, there was a risk that it could be easily overlooked or misidentified. The mystery surrounding the hatch added an extra layer of complexity to their quest. Despite this uncertainty, the team was undeterred. With renewed determination, the team prepared for their next steps. Dave Blanken's description of the area by his boat, where the mysterious opening was found, seemed to perfectly align with Jack's position on the hatch marked on Zena Halper's map. The possibility that this could be the very hatch the map alluded to was thrilling. If this was indeed the hatch referenced by Zena, it might lead to something monumental, the Money Pit, or another hidden treasure location that had captivated treasure hunters for centuries. The following day, the Oak Island team set their sights on the southern shore. They focused their efforts on searching for a wooden path they believed connected to Shaft 9, another critical part of the island's enigmatic history. As they excavated, their hard work began to pay off. The team unearthed something that could very well be one of the year's most important discoveries. Among the items revealed were man-made wooden structures, meticulously crafted and seemingly ancient. The sight of these structures was both awe-inspiring and humbling. Alongside the wood, they also found a large piece of clay. This clay had an almost timeless quality to it, having preserved the wood in remarkably good condition over the years. The preservation was so effective that it was as if the past was reaching out to the present, offering clues and insights into the island's hidden secrets. The discovery of these wooden structures and the clay was a significant breakthrough. The team imagined the painstaking effort it must have taken to build these structures in the 19th century, and their minds raced with the possibilities of what these findings might mean. With each new clue and each new piece of evidence, it seemed that the Oak Island team was on the brink of something big. The Hidden Vaults of Oak Island, a treasure hunter's breakthrough. In the world of Oak Island treasure hunting, few names carry as much reverence as Dan Hensche's. Rick, in his admiration, had dubbed Henske Oak Island's royalty for his deep knowledge and unwavering dedication. It was Henske's expertise and tireless efforts that led the team to a crucial discovery, a pathway that could potentially unlock the secrets of Shaft 9. Before this breakthrough, though, the week had been fraught with challenges and disappointments. The team had been grappling with setbacks and bad news, which made the eventual breakthrough feel even more momentous. The discovery of the pathway and the potential link to Shaft 9 was a turning point. It rekindled their hope and gave them reason to believe that the original money pit, the legendary site that had lured so many treasure seekers, might finally be within reach. The following morning, the excitement was palpable as the crew prepared to share their latest discovery. They invited Rick and Craig Tester, eager to get their input on what they hoped would be a groundbreaking find. Alongside Dan and the rest of the experienced team, they examined what they believed to be the remnants of Shaft 9, a searcher building from 1963. As they meticulously explored the site, the team was filled with anticipation. Shaft 9 was a significant piece of the puzzle, offering potential insights into the history of Oak Island's treasure hunts. The Oak Island team was hard at work, focused on excavating the shafts uphill with precision and care. Rick also stressed the importance of thoroughly digging out all four corners of the shafts to ensure accurate measurements and maintain structural integrity. As they labored under the sun, their efforts took an unexpected turn when they unearthed a surprising amount of hay. New findings corroborate with previous documents. The discovery of hay was puzzling and intriguing. It wasn't something they had anticipated finding. The team speculated that the hay might have been used in the construction of Shaft 9, or could have served another significant purpose. Its presence raised intriguing questions about the methods and strategies employed by early treasure hunters on Oak Island. Could the hay have been used as a filler material or for insulation? The team was eager to understand how this seemingly out-of-place material fit into the broader mystery of the island. As they continued their excavation, excitement buzzed through the team. They meticulously measured Shaft 9, hoping to match their findings with old records. According to documents from the 1850s, Shaft 9 was supposed to measure 6 feet by 12 feet. To their delight, their measurements aligned perfectly with these historical records. This was a significant validation, suggesting that they might have indeed located Shaft 9. Yet the team remained cautious. The landscape around the money pit had changed dramatically over the years, with many tunnels being dug and filled in. They knew they had to tread carefully to avoid mistakes. The match with old records was a major breakthrough. It hinted that this shaft might have been a key part of the island's treasure hunting history. The team's excitement grew as they continued digging and made another significant discovery. A second shaft connected to Shaft 9. This finding further confirmed their location and provided a crucial piece of the puzzle in their quest for the money pit. The excitement didn't stop there, though. As they dug deeper, they uncovered a rare horizontal tunnel. The tunnel's crossbeams, which had clearly withstood the test of time, offered concrete evidence of its age and purpose. This find was particularly thrilling as it matched the tunnel described by Dan, which added credibility to their discoveries. The presence of the crossbeams and the tunnel's orientation provided solid proof that they were on the right track. The following week, Rick and Gary returned to the swamp with renewed excitement. This was no ordinary visit. They were driven by the promise of uncovering more about the mysterious stone-paved feature they had discovered earlier. Gary, in particular, was buzzing with enthusiasm. He had never had the chance to explore this part of the island properly due to the swamp's notoriously high water levels. Now, with the water somewhat receding, they had an opportunity to delve deeper into this enigmatic area. Exploring the swamp. From the looks of it, the swamp was shaped like a triangle, its murky waters and dense vegetation creating an almost otherworldly atmosphere. Rick had always believed this was one of the most intriguing spots on Oak Island. It had a sense of hidden depth and potential that drew him in. Despite having found some fascinating artifacts, like the stone-paved feature, they had yet to connect these discoveries to the money pit or other significant sites. Rick's optimism was unwavering, though. He knew that every inch of the island held the potential to reveal something monumental. As they zigzagged along the riverbank, moving cautiously through the swamp's soggy terrain, the search was both physically demanding and mentally exhilarating. The waterlogged ground made every step a careful maneuver, and the dense foliage often obstructed their view. Yet, the thrill of potential discovery spurred them on. Gary, with his metal detector in hand, was on high alert for any signals that might lead them to something significant. Suddenly, Gary's detector emitted a promising signal near the water's edge. Rick's heart raced with anticipation as they carefully excavated the area. The waterlogged earth gave way to something solid. Rick's hands, coated in mud and sweat, carefully unearthed a small but intriguing find. A ring. At first glance, it seemed simple and unadorned, but its presence was anything but ordinary. In the context of Oak Island's history, even the smallest artifact could hold immense significance. Unraveling the stone mystery beneath Oak Island's swamp. A couple of days later, Rick and Dr. Ian Spooner returned to the swamp, their excitement palpable as they faced the now partially drained waters. Their mission was to delve deeper into the enigmatic stone-paved structure that had intrigued them from the start. With more of the swamp's murky depths revealed, they were ready to examine the exposed stones in greater detail. As Rick and Ian scrutinized the stones, Ian, a seasoned geoscientist, began to form theories. He pointed out that if the stones had been deposited by a glacier or other natural processes, they would likely be scattered in mounds rather than forming a flat, organized surface. This observation was crucial. The stones, although slightly shifting, maintained a surprisingly even and flat surface, hinting strongly at human craftsmanship. On top of that, Rick took numerous photographs of the area, eager to share the findings with his brother Marty, who was equally invested in piecing together the island's mysteries. The photos captured every angle of the stone formation, documenting what could be a significant breakthrough. Meanwhile, Ian continued his examination of the swamp's sediment layers. He made a notable discovery: a layer of stone above the farmland that appeared to have been left behind by a glacier. What made this discovery particularly intriguing was that the stones contained no clay, despite being embedded in swamp sediments. This anomaly suggested that the stones had been deliberately placed there, as natural processes alone couldn't account for their specific arrangement. At the same time, Rick, who had been closely observing the findings, drew a parallel between the stone feature and the concept of constructing a road through a swamp. He explained that smaller rocks appeared to have been placed at the bottom, with larger stones layered on top. This method of construction supported the idea that the feature was indeed crafted by human hands, as such a systematic arrangement was unlikely to occur naturally. Ian noted that the stone-paved areas seemed to lead toward the sea, suggesting a deliberate alignment. This discovery pointed to a fascinating possibility. The paved areas might have served as a platform or working surface for boats. Ian proposed that the structure could have been a dock or a similar maritime feature, crucial for navigating the waterways around Oak Island. The importance of the swamp's placement. The strategic alignment of the swamp's deepest part with the nearby peninsula hinted at a purposeful design. This positioning would have provided easy water access while offering a solid base for work or storage. The implications were significant. If the area was indeed a docking or storage site, it raised intriguing questions about who built it, when it was constructed, and what activities took place there. This new perspective painted Oak Island as more than just a mysterious, isolated landmass. It suggested a vibrant maritime past, where people engaged in substantial activities related to sea navigation and trade. Marty was taken aback by the findings. He admitted that these discoveries were precisely what he had hoped for. The theory that the swamp could have been used to unload a ship, which was then deliberately destroyed or sunk to conceal evidence, fit with historical tactics employed during wartime to protect valuable cargo or ships. If proven correct, this theory would not only explain the stone-paved feature, but also offer a glimpse into the events that might have transpired on Oak Island centuries ago. The next day, the team's quest for answers continued. Jack Begley and metal detecting expert Gary headed to the area they dubbed the Eye of the Oak Island Swamp, a spot they believed might yield further clues or artifacts. Gary, well acquainted with the swamp's thick terrain, was optimistic about finding items that had been trapped in the muck over the years. Their optimism proved well-founded when they unearthed an ancient pickaxe. Hidden worlds underneath the swamp. The discovery of the ancient pickaxe at Oak Island's swamp was more than just an interesting artifact. This pickaxe, worn and unique with its oval socket and spiked head, suggested that the area had been subject to extensive mining or tunneling activities long before the current team arrived. Gary's observation that the pickaxe seemed designed for tunneling raised intriguing questions. Why was a tool specifically made for digging deeper and reaching hidden areas found in the swamp? Gary's idea was that the pickaxe could have been used to dig tunnels, perhaps to reach or conceal something of great importance. This theory aligned with earlier findings and discussions about the swamp's potential for hidden tunnels. Seismic scans had previously revealed a significant anomaly stretching 200 feet through the swamp. Additionally, core samples taken from the swamp showed dense clay layers up to 40 feet thick, ideal for supporting and stabilizing tunnels. These findings painted a picture of the swamp as more than a natural landscape. It seemed to be an engineered space with purposeful construction. The team began to piece together a possible connection between the tunnels, the mysterious paved areas, and the so-called Eye of the Swamp. It seemed increasingly plausible that the swamp had been deliberately designed, potentially as part of a larger system or plan. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.